Woo!
Hey,
What's up?
We're live. We're live. And I just wanted to say congratulations to us, baby, because we are funded. What's up with that, Macho Daniel?
Hey, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, Mutt.
Really, congratulations to you.
No. Congratulations to you.
No, really?
No.
No.
Yeah, dude, we did it.
We did it, man. Somehow or another, somehow, some way.
We put it together.
We did it.
We did
so we are at, let's see, currently we are at 4155.
55? Okay. Well, that went up a second ago.
No, what is it?
4152.
Okay, 4152 is our official number right now. So that our goal is $3,800. That basically is enough for us to print and ship comics, right? We can make it, we can print it, we can ship them.
Yeah,
and that's the baseline amount that we had to have. So now we're over that. So
we're not making any dollars.
Well, and even if we make a little bit more, we're probably still not making anything because we're still going to put it back into extra stuff and all that.
All the dollars on this project are going into the comic.
We actually got to make quite a bit before we're in the black. So
right. But we want to make this thing. We want to get this thing out there in people's hands, and that's the most important part. So
would you mind watching the chat for me?
I'm doing that as we speak. I'm going to pop it up.
All right.
Here now, our boy, the one and only 7 of 9, is in the chat right now. 7 of 9.
Septonov giving us another official congratulatory statement. Thank you very much, Sep. Appreciate you very much. You are a big part of our success as always.
That's right.
Cool. Macho, why don't you go ahead and introduce our mystery guest?
So, for the couple people right now watching, hopefully we get some more people here in just a minute. You see on our panel, we have the third slot, and that is our mystery guest. And this is Mr. Kienan. Is it Clement?
Yeah, Clement.
Kienan Clement. And he is the writer for a book called The Prometheus Effect. Is that correct?
Yes, Prometheus Effect.
The Prometheus Effect, yeah. And so Kienan's coming on. He's not launched anything yet. He has a ways to go before launch, I believe. And we're gonna learn about all that here shortly in just a little bit. But he's gonna be hanging out, throwing his 2 cents on and everything we're talking about, and we're gonna get to learn about his project. So thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank y'all guys for having me. Congratulations again, by the way. Super excited for y'all.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're pumped now. Before we get going on Kienan's project, we're going to let some more people roll in here, hopefully. But we do want to talk about some of the news, I guess, that's been going on in the indie community. And number one today, let's talk about who launched and who is already funded in like an hour and a half. And that is Mr. Vaughn himself, Vaughn Kloss, with Monster MD. Do you see that thing, Kienan?
Yeah, I've been seeing it. I haven't really had a chance to go look at anything yet.
Cool. It's so Vaughn is awesome. He's a creator, part of the Kids Table crew, and with Narwhal and Mutt and myself, and he put together this book. He's been working on it a long time, and it just looks like the art is really good. The colors are really good. The story is going to be great because Vaughn's writing it. So that thing's going to be a monster. And his goal was a flex funding goal of $3,000. He had to have done that because he knew he was going to get funded. I don't know how he's printing a 100-page book for $3,000, like 100+ pages.
Yeah, that'd be a stretch for any budget. I'll tell you that right now.
He just he knew that he was gonna get funded and then some. That's the only way I can think. But congrats to him. He absolutely slayed that. Blew well past his goal, and he's still growing. That's one I'm gonna put money on myself at some point. And just so you guys know, Mr. Bruce Patnod is in the chat.
Oh snap!
Our boy Bruce. Keenan. Bruce is another awesome artist. Like, you should seriously watch out for him because he's going to relaunch, I believe, sometime maybe this fall with a book called The Wreck. It is really cool. So keep an eye out for him. Bruce is awesome. We've been on his show a few times. He's been on with us before, and we got to have him on again. Anyway.
Yeah, Bruce is like the elder statesman of the group. He's been around and has done some indie stuff in his career, and he's got a new book called The Wreck.
Yeah,
that's going to be coming out. So yeah, he's one of our guys. We love Bruce to death.
Yeah, I like to think of Bruce as like my non-creepy uncle, my like cool uncle, right? That likes to tell me cool stories. I like to listen to.
That's what every guy wants to hear is that you remind him of the non-creepy uncle.
That's right. Yeah, seriously, Bruce. I seriously, I like. So Bruce always, whenever we're talking, he's like, "I'm going to tell you a story. I'll try to be not long-winded or whatever." But I really like listening to Bruce's stories. So
yeah, he's a good storyteller. That's why he's in comedy.
That's right. At least you didn't say grandpa. That's true. You're more of an uncle type to me, Bruce. Yeah. Cool. So let's keep moving with some news. So we got that. The other book that I want to talk about that's currently funding, and we'll talk about our book again in a second. We got to get those plugs in while we can. But this guy right here, Mr. Doug Garrett and Lone Wolf,
boom, shakalaka,
is out there, and that book is doing well, I think, on Indiegogo.
I think he's at about 45% the last time I checked.
So I know, like, in just talking to him, like he's hit it's like the second week slump, and it just like it hits, and it hits hard, and you're funding so good and so good and so good, and then the second week hits, and you're like, why am I not getting a single thing? Like, it was like 6 days or something that we had where we barely got anything. Like, we'd get one here and one there, and then all of a sudden it just blew up again for us. But that book's going to get there no problem. That's another one. If I can sneak this one past my wife too, I gotta be smart with my monies. But I gotta Lone Wolf I'm funding I'm gonna back first, and then I'm gonna also back Vaughn's book too, so I'm pumped about those. But yeah, look, Septinov is using the wrench right now the way it should be used in the chat, and he's putting the links in for everybody if there's anybody that doesn't know.
Thank you, Seth, for doing Dan's job. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's why we gave him the wrench, so he could do my job. I'm a really good manager. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting. Anyway, Lone Wolf, Legends of Lone Wolf. Have you seen that at all, Keenan?
Yeah, actually, I just got my copy of Lone Wolf issue 1 in the other day.
Oh, yes.
And sweet. I got a chance to read it on my vacation on the trip up to Texas.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. Great artwork, great writing. I'm excited for the next installment to come out, and I'm going to definitely be back in it.
Yeah. Did you see that Mutt and I both died in his comic book?
No, I'm gonna have to go back and reread it.
There's some Easter eggs in there. You should go look. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was honored to
reread it.
I was honored to be killed in his comic. So
it should be on my desk somewhere.
Yeah, so we're gonna Doug will definitely be an Easter egg somewhere in our comic book. You'll have to look out for that. What else we got? Is there any something else? Says I laid flowers on y'all's grave. What else you got, Mutt?
There's several books that are out there right now that I'm interested in, including Chaos, Archias.
Oh, Caius. Yeah.
By Ryan Cardinal. I think that book looks actually very beautiful, and I love the characterizations.
Yep.
And there's just lots of interesting things about that book.
Yep.
It's one of those projects that could easily be more than a comic book. It could go in lots of different directions. But it looks to me like it's going to be a pretty cool story, kind of an epic adventure type story, otherworldly.
Yeah.
So I dig that. And Ryan is an amazing artist. So. Yeah,
he's a really cool dude too. Like, if you've ever talked to him in streams, he's incredibly nice and very very complimentary and stuff. I like him a lot. I like interacting with him.
Yeah. Also, I mean, did you mention Shinobi Sasquatch yet?
No. Yeah. No. I was saving that one. We got Shinobi Sasquatch is at like $21,000, I
Yeah,
think.
baby. Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
that is like, so Cal is on fire right now. Cal and Rob.
Yeah.
First of all, two of the nicest dudes you'll talk to
Absolutely.
in indie books. Like Cal, we somehow stumbled into, like, him and Doug Garrett. We stumbled into being friends with them.
Yeah.
And Bruce as well. Like right when we just got into this whole thing, and all three of those dudes were like straight away like blew me away as creators, and are so nice. And so I'm glad to see they're doing so well. I'd love to have a little bit more piece of their pie, but that's okay. I'm happy that they're doing so good.
Yeah, you got to be happy for those folks that are rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, especially those guys that are nice guys that are brand new coming in like us. They're paving the way for us to come in and do our thing. So I'm very happy for all of these guys.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, you guys.
Go ahead.
You guys definitely have made a great community from what I've seen, and just coming in, I never expected like such a big network of helpful people to be able to become a part of.
Yeah, there's so like whatever you want to say. I know that the whole movement that was like Comicsgate or whatever is splintered, and there's like adjacent and all these things, and I don't care about any of that. Like if you're a creator and you are respectful to you're cool, you're respectful to your supporters or your backers or whatever. I don't care what you are, I guess. And so anyway, we've made a lot of friends on both sides, and it's been great. And like, for example, here's another one that was an unfortunate that didn't make it, but it's Blood Hunt by Simon Portier, I believe. Portier. Who his art is really cool. He has a really cool style, but he didn't make it. But he's a great example because that guy, he took the news that he's not making it very much like Mutt and I did, and we wanted to very publicly show people that just because you failed that's not the end. You know what I mean? And that guy's doing it right, and he's like, "Hey, I failed. Don't worry, I'll be back. Like, I'm learning a lot," and that's exactly what you need to do. So that's unfortunate. He got to 46% today. He'll make it next time, I'm sure. That won't be an issue.
The other one I would like to mention, there's actually a couple, is Brian Shearer's
oh yes,
Gunship Thunder Punch. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Gunship Thunder Punch. I want to back it. There's so many things I want to put my money on. Gosh, it looks so good too.
It looks cool, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those like big time space adventures. There's a robot that turns into a battleship. Yeah. So, what's not to love there? It looks really cool.
It looks cool.
Earthworm Jim. I love Doug TenNapel, so anything he's putting out is always going to be good. I'd mention that one. And then Jerkmonger's got his out today.
Yeah, that's Doug TenNapel and Jerkmonger, and it looks good. It looks real good. The art looks good.
Yeah, it does. It looks beautiful.
I think it's already funded. I'm pretty sure it's already done.
Yeah, these guys are getting funded in like a
hours.
Day, hours. Yeah, less than a day.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Like, it's great because it shows that the community of indie creators are it's healthy, right? Like, this whole concept is healthy, and it's if you have a product that's solid, and you're a cool creator, then you're gonna get the stuff made. So yeah,
that's right. Before we move on, I wanted to give one shout out to Peter Palmiotti. He got fully funded and then some on his Kickstarter for Retro. Yeah, which looks really dope. I don't know what it is about it, but it just looks really kind of like cool. Like it's got a cool hero with a cool outfit and cool colors, and he's just got pouches. Some. Well, yeah, there is that, and he's got some interesting dialogue that I was reading on there. So he's super cool to have us on, and that guy is like, he's an industry vet. Like, he worked for Valiant and Image and DC and Marvel. Like, he worked for the big boys as an inker. Like, he's legit, and he had us on the show. It was really cool. He was an inker in the bullpen. I was kind of listening to that story like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, like that was legit back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s. You wanted to be in that bullpen.
And he's cool, man. And like he was just really fun to talk to. I enjoyed hanging out with him.
Wait. The other one is we want to talk about werewolves and unicorns.
Oh, yes.
Or it might be unicorns and werewolves. I'm not sure, but it's that's the 100 Days of Making Comics crew, including our boy Marshall Lee.
Yep.
Donkey Jaw Press. So definitely go out and check that out. I don't know, Steph, if you can find that link or I don't know if it's even live yet, but maybe just link to Marsh's channel or something like that, because that guy is really cool. He's always talking about HIRO, and he even did a HIRO fan piece, and I know you saw that. What did you think about that?
It was great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Once again, there's some great pouches thrown in there. I got to respect anything with a good amount of pouches in it. And but like Marshall has a very, like, you can see his stuff when you see a piece of his, you're like, oh, it's Marshall Lee's. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like an artist wants to be known for their kind of style art, like a narwhal. If you see a narwhal piece, you know exactly who it is. And so I thought it was great. I really liked it. I like the smile, because a lot of people draw HIRO, and you draw HIRO with like a he's like, he's not happy because he's dead. But March drew him with a smile, like he was happy about killing, and I was like, this is cool.
Plus, it literally looks like he stepped right off a page of X-Force.
It's so good. I like it.
Yeah, it's great. He did a good job.
He did.
All right, we can move on now. Go ahead.
All right, so I was gonna quickly plug we're doing the HIRO fan art thing. We have tons and tons and tons of submissions. We're gonna do a separate episode for just that stuff in the future, so that's gonna be cool. Real quick, some old metalhead is in the chat, and I believe some old metalhead. Are you doing the? Are you the Thrashers dude? Are you not the Thrashers dude? He might be the Thrashers dude. I'll let him say it here in a second. But anyway, we can go ahead and move on to our special guest, the person that we're on the show for tonight, other than promoting ourselves, right? That is Kienan Clement here. Kienan is joining us. He has a book coming out very soon. Or not very soon. I guess I'll let you tell us the exact date, but it is called The Prometheus Effect. Sorry. You go ahead, Kienan. Say what you want to say, and then we got some questions for you.
All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm coming out with this comic book. It's called The Prometheus Effect. So what I wanted to do was kind of bring that weird body horror, Lovecraftian kind of feel and bring it to a modern world, because a lot of everything you see with these Lovecraftian stuff, it's all based in 1920, 1930, you know, and I want to kind of bring it up into a modern day. And so what it is, it's this firefighter in New Orleans named Connor, and his family gets brutally murdered, and he's trying to figure out who did it, because there's some cover-up stuff going on, and a few other things, and he stumbles onto the sanctuary and gets imbued with these powers of the Prometheans, and they have had this power since the dawn of time. That's where Prometheus came from, is they were the first ones to bring fire, quote unquote, to man, which is this power. I'm really excited. I've got like the next year's worth of issues already typed up.
Nice.
It's interesting. You know, I grew up on all those old school sci-fi movies in the heyday of, you know, the 90s and 80s of, you know, Alien and Terminator and all those kind of, you know, movies and everything. And so that's kind of where I'm drawing inspiration from. And a few other things. You know, I was really heavily drawn to Punisher and Preacher which both of those, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon are my favorite duo in comic books ever.
Cool.
If you've never read Preacher, read it. Start to finish. It's like 6 trade paperbacks, I think. It's super quick read. And those guys kind of really inspired me. And books like Gideon Falls and Evolution, those kind of books that I started reading too, have like, helped me get my own style, I guess,
Cool, man. So is the Prometheus effect, do you have an artist for that?
Yes, I do. He just goes by the name Opnor, but I've been working with him for a little over 6 months now, I think.
Okay.
We may get a new page never before seen tonight. I'm waiting to see if he's going to email me.
Oh,
Yeah.
exclusive. Nice.
I'm waiting to see if he'll email me that tonight. Hopefully we do. Here's crossing my fingers. But the guy's phenomenal. Let me go ahead and do this. All right.
You should white box him, Mutt.
Okay, can do.
I was gonna say, have you read the Ghost Rider Road to Damnation by Garth Ennis? And
no, I didn't.
Ennis and Crane, I think.
Oh yeah, that got crazy.
Yeah, it's real good. It's dark. Like, I mean, granted, Ghost Rider's like a demon of hell or whatever, so it's pretty dark anyway. But like that one's real dark, but it's a really good one. And I think it was like maybe Jack Irons, Steel Cowboy guy, had posted that because I did something on Twitter and he posted as like his favorite cover ever, and I had to read it and I went and read the whole thing. It was phenomenal. It was really good.
That's definitely going to be on my pull list. Yeah, those guys, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon, they have a good way of driving a story. Like I've never been like compelled to read something like they can, make you want to read something. I mean, I think I churned through all 6 trade paperbacks in like 2 days.
Yeah, cool. Just blowing through them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your first comic book experience. When did you start loving comics and why?
So, growing up, I never really was big into comic books. I was always, just really video games and movies. But I kind of made a little friend group towards the end of high school, and we became friends. We're still friends to this day. And one of my good friends, Charles Dunphy, he was an avid comic book reader. And I had never really read them, and I'd always wanted to, kind of get into it. And so one day it was, he said, "Hey, look, I'm reading this book, Preacher. It's getting ready to become a TV show. Do you want to read it?" I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I'll take a spin at it." And then I read it, fell in love with it. And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to read as much as I can," So I started going through, getting, through the pull lists and everything and borrowing his comic books. And, I think he lent me his copy of Infinity War and Death of Superman. A couple of, there's the staples that you need to really read, the core course reading on comic books. And so I kind of went through all of those and just fell in love with it. And, it was that was it.
Nice. How long ago did you say that was?
I think probably freshman year of college. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I was just curious because I was just curious because that you came to comics relatively like not old but older. Like a lot of us. Yeah, recently. Right. A lot of us came to comics when we were a lot younger. So, but that's cool. Like Doug Garrett, he's kind of the same. He always said like he was kind of a recent convert to comics, and he got into Batman, and it was like that's all he needed. He just needed to read more Batman and more Batman and more Batman. And I think it's cool when you hear different people's like what they got to get into it.
Right. Yeah, and that was another one that kind of sparked me into it too. Was Batman. That was the second comic book I ever read was The Killing Joke.
Yeah.
So
Nice
again, more core reading, and from there it kept growing.
Yeah.
And I got a decent little collection going now of just different stuff I've been reading and I've read, and it's cool. It's cool to see a medium where it's like you can read, but you can see everything going on the page, and it gives people the possibility to express themselves in such a way that you can see and feel what they want you to see.
Mutt says he'll probably say it better than I'm going to say it, but he says it's the greatest storytelling medium. Is that right, Mutt?
Yeah, that's my opinion. And the reason I say that is because other mediums have not caught up to what comics have been able to do. A lot of in America, for whatever reason, they've been kind of regulated to kind of the kids' table, so to speak, comic books. But really, if you think about it, there's no medium that exists where you can tell a greater story, more exciting, more outlandish. But there are no limitations. So that's why I say it's the greatest storytelling medium, even beyond movies or any kind of episodic thing.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So what would you say your first? What was the first comic book you bought? Do you remember that, or do you still have it?
It was Preacher.
Preacher.
Actually,
okay,
it's on loan. It's on loan to my little brother right now. But yeah, Preacher was the first one I ever read.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I've said it before. I'm pretty sure that my first comic, what got me into comics, like you mentioned Aliens, like in growing up in those 80s and 90s and watching that stuff. And the Aliens, Aliens, the second movie in the Alien franchise, that was the one that got me into comics. So I remember watching that movie. I hadn't even seen the first one yet. And it was like, it blew my mind. That movie was like one of the best, like to this day, it's probably one of my top, like my favorite movies, just because how big of an impact it had on my life. And so from there, I got into comics because I wanted to read more alien stories. And I went to the shop and I picked up alien books. And then I was like, oh, cool, there's Batman. And I started, like, I know Batman. I started reading Batman. And then I got, so everybody seems to come to comics through Batman. But I eventually moved over to Marvel, and I still collected a lot of Dark Horse books, a lot of Image books, and a lot of Marvel books. But yeah, it's funny. And there's a lot, like Bruce in the chat. I think Aliens was a big influence on him. It's funny how that franchise just has it's influenced so many people. And you may not even be doing something in that genre, but it just has a big influence. And Dave in the chat, real quick, he says G.I. Joe number 86 from 1989. That was his book. That's awesome, dude. That's so good. I wonder if that's a Michael Golden cover. I have to look that up.
I don't think so.
G.I. Joe number 86. Go ahead.
I was thinking that Dave has probably done a show on his channel about that particular issue. Because he does do he does the nostalgic books. So
yeah,
he's probably got a show that's dedicated to that scene. Now I can tell you, my first one was an Iron Man. That was the first comic I ever bought for myself. And then the next, and that was like some random when I was probably like about 10 or 11. And then the next one was The Return of the Sinister Six, and that was about 13 years old, and that was the Eric Larson run right after McFarlane.
Yep.
So then I wanted to go back and get all the McFarlane. So that was my big push when I was 13 years old.
That's cool. Let's see. I'm gonna see if. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My buddy Charlie's in the chat right now. What's up, Charles?
All right.
What's up,
Charles? Is that CP Dunphy?
Yep, that's CP Dunphy.
Batman, Spawn,
War
Devil. Yeah, nice.
The Batman Spawn crossover was a really amazing comic.
Yeah. Let's see. So No, I don't think Michael Golden did that book. Oh well.
No, you should just listen to me instead of looking up things.
Man, I'm a low key Michael Golden fan. So if you guys are looking for a cool artist, he's a little bit McFarlane, and there's somebody else we had talked about this one time, Mutt, and we had figured out what it was, but he's a really cool artist. He did a lot of G.I. Joe comics, so Michael Golden, you should check him out.
Yeah, Michael Golden.
He did a lot of covers for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, covers.
And he did the Nam as well. That's what the other one.
And the Nam is one of those comics that was really good. People love it, but nobody really collects it. You're one
Except
of the few,
for me.
Yeah, you're one of the few Nam collectors.
Yeah, I like it. It's I can be different and collect the Nam. So
that's right.
Cool. So do you got some? Are you Keenan? Are you able to show some art?
Yes, actually, I got it pulled up right here.
Now you can.
All right, I got my cover.
All right, hold on just a second. I'll white box you. If I can find my mouse. There we go. All right, man. The floor is yours. Let's see what that is.
All righty. So what we got here is my cover. I hired a phenomenal artist, L.A. Spooner. He's done a lot of work with my buddy Charles, who has his own publishing company, and he's an author. So he's used him for a lot of cover art, and that's kind of who I met him through.
Keenan, I'm still seeing you right now. I'm not seeing the screen. If you go up in the, did you do the screen share button?
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
Up in the, if you go where it says Google, up in the left hand, there's like a little gray panel, and it has a green box. And it says, if you hit that, it's screen share. There you go. Hit that.
There we go.
And don't dox yourself.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to see that sweet cover. The people need to see the cover.
Oh, no, you're
guys.
good. You're good. I just all right, where are we at?
All right, so I'm gonna while you're doing that, I'm gonna tell everybody a joke. All right, this is the most dad joke I know. Okay, and I read it like somebody said this the other day. It made me laugh. What's brown and sticky?
Oh,
a stick.
No.
There it is. I see it. I see your cover.
Hey.
A stick is brown and sticky. All right, cool, sweet. Look at that cover, Mutt.
I'm not seeing it.
You not seeing it? I can see it.
Oh, no.
It's on his. You boxing his channel? I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it. Oh yeah, that looks gnarly. Look at that.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. This is the guy who I'm going to go with for all of my covers. I really wanted to go for that. What's the best way to describe it? That Blade Runner kind of neo-noir,
definitely
Winding Refn kind of vibe.
Yeah,
those are the. I love that whole color scheme. I mean, my LEDs for my computer are all that color scheme. So
that's cool, man.
But yeah, that's the cover. I've had that out for a while. Let's see.
So I remember when I saw this cover randomly on Twitter, and I was like, "That is freaking cool!" And so I tweeted it out and just randomly followed you. That's how we even connected, was because of that cover. I saw that thing and I was like, "That thing's cool."
Right. Yeah. When I was making it, Charlie's kind of my bouncing board for all of my ideas, because he's been in this game a really long time and he kind of knows, what people want, what people don't want, what works good, what doesn't work good.
Right.
And he's helping me write the book as well. And so when we were talking about it, his whole thing was, you want to make something, you want to make a cover that when people walk into a comic store and walk through the shelves, they see that and stop. Yeah. And they're like, okay, I'm going to open it and see what's in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and this guy, Luke Spooner, is one of the best artists I've seen in a while. He does really, really, really good work.
Man, he's very detailed. Like, he even has a wood grain on the door.
Right. Right.
And it's like it's almost a negative image, you know.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. I like it.
Right. So now the other few I have like the first 4 pages that I've got from my packet to send off. So the other guy I have is Opnor. I found him on Reddit. Just kind of browsing through when I was getting ready to start gearing up to make the comic book, and I liked his art. So I messaged him, and we've been working together for a while, and he does phenomenal work. So this is the very first thing you see when you open up the comic book. What we have is right here is the main character, just coming home from work, and then like his attention to detail as well. Like I've been lucky to get artists who are really detail oriented. Because you can see from the second page, they've honed in really well on what I want, and I really couldn't have asked for anything better. And I wanted to go gruesome right out the gate, and I remember you made a comment about that when I revealed it.
Yeah.
So, why is it blurry? That's no fun. There it goes. Okay. Opening shot again. You want something that's going to grab people's attention.
Sure.
Nothing more attention grabbing than on the third page a dead child with a hole in his head.
Yeah, no. And you have to figure out why. Like it's
right.
One of those things that like it's sad and it produces an emotion, right? And that's like I feel like a comic book should give you some sort of emotion when you're reading it, whether it's like when the hero like overcomes and you're like you get excited about that, or like this is in this situation is a sad one, but it's an emotion, so that's cool.
Right. Well, and that was kind of the thing. I don't want my comic to really be like one of those touchy feely like, oh yay, everything's happy, everything's bright and shiny. This is going to be one of those things that tears into you every chance I can get.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like that compels you more through the comic book, because you're just like, come on, can't this guy catch a break? And you just build up, and then finally he catches his break, and it makes it all much more worth it.
Right.
And then one of the newest pieces of art I've gotten is this one. It's kind of a cutaway scene in the middle of the comic.
Guy's just peeing on the wall.
Yeah, he's having a good time. He got drunk, and he stumbled into an alleyway on Bourbon Street, and went to go to the bathroom. But this one's gonna delve into some really cosmic horror, body horror kind of stuff.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
Cutaway. Yeah. So like I said, hopefully I'll get this next page coming soon.
Sweet.
But that's what I've got so far.
That's cool, man. And so a couple of questions I have is he like, are you going to color this? Is this something that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hang on 1 second. Boom. Okay, I'm back.
I've seen myself. So you plan on coloring it? Do you have colorists yet, or are you just shopping around still?
So I'm going to see how Opnor works with colors.
Gotcha.
I might just use him for a colorist as well. And if I decide I want to go something else, I'll shop other colorists. As far as lettering and word bubbles and stuff go, myself and Charlie will be doing all that.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, I will say, like, Mutt and I working together, like, the best part is he can do pretty much the whole process. Like, he can, if he needs to color it, he can color it. But like he can letter it and all that, which is fantastic. And a lot of people in a lot of campaigns, I've noticed that's where, like, when you have to pay, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, if you're paying a letterer, the letterer is probably going to do a phenomenal job. But if you have to pay somebody, then that keeps bumping up the bottom line, and you have to keep making enough money to cover that person or to cover this or to cover whatever. So if you're able to put in if you're able to do most of that work between, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yawn, but your artist and your like yourself, that's awesome. And that's, you can get your first campaign in at a reasonable cost. You can get funded, people can get your products faster, see what you're all about, and then next time you can keep bumping up.
Right.
There's a lot of
that's
people,
kind of what.
there's a lot of people in the community who can help with those little extra things too. Like lettering and helping with finding a printer and making sure your comic is press ready. There's a lot of people with those skill sets in the community that we're talking to. So if you need help with stuff like that, there's a lot of people you can talk to, and we can help you find that.
Yep.
Awesome. And that's another thing that I'm kind of happy about is that, I've got people who can help me with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And, you guys are awesome, and I love, y'all are helping out a whole lot. And, I've got my buddy Charlie, who, because he's in that publishing world, he knows where to go to help out and where to go to get printed. I mean, we've sat up for hours talking about, okay, well, what's our next plan? What are we going to do now? How are we going to get this out? Where are we going to go? Who are we going to send it to? What's going to happen if it doesn't get picked up?
Yep.
So, it's good having people in your corner to help you push forward to what you want to do.
Yep, absolutely. And Mutt and I are the same way. When we launched, we'd been talking about it for months. We had this big plan, and we launched, and we ultimately didn't succeed the first time. And I think part of our problem was we didn't put ourselves out there to get plugged in early enough, right? Like, so I think you're doing it a little bit better. You're trying to get plugged in now, and I think it's smart, because if you do and you start interacting with people within the indie community and you really you start sharing some stuff, people get hyped on your product. So that's why one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, and like, we're not a big channel at all. I think there's like 10 people watching, which thank you to every single person watching us right now. But you're somebody fresh and new, and I think that the book could be really cool. Like, I was drawn to it, and I think that just starting to get plugged in and interacting with people is the best way to do that.
Right, 100%. That was another thing that we had talked about a whole lot is, so what Charlie's plan is that he wanted to, create his own little publishing community and get all of his work out there. I mean, our friend group growing up, we were always real creative. We played D&D together, make up our own storylines, and we'd sit around for hours on Photoshop, just, piddling around and sitting around, outside of the campfire, hanging out and, making stories and everything. And, Charlie was the first one of our group to really take it and make a book. And it started with that, and then it's kind of like, well, you know what? Maybe I should do something too. And I started thinking, and he was the first person I called when I wanted to do it. And when we started talking about it, he said, "Look, dude, you need a network first." He said, because that was what got me the first time, because he's had to relaunch 2, 3, 4 times, I think, and because he keeps having to build up his audience, and now he's built up his audience to where he got his publishing company funded in 2 months, I think, and all the way through his stretch goal. Like, every single stretch goal was hit, and just kind of watching him do that, I was like, you know what? Let's sit back, and before I go, because everybody's initial reaction when you do this stuff is, let's do it. Let's get it out there. Let's go. Let's pump it. Let's pump it. But it's like, you got to take a step back sometimes and think, okay, well, why do people want to read this? Do they know who you are?
No.
Who
and
are
you're right.
them?
You're absolutely right. And to your point there, I see some old metalhead. So he just said yes, and in all capitals said, build your audience. And I can't agree with him more on that. Because that was one of our problems the first time around. We didn't do that, and we kind of just came in and we were like, we're gonna do Twitter. Well, or Mutt's already done Twitter, but like I was like, I'm gonna do Twitter, and I had like 90 followers maybe or something, and most of that was just because it was probably bots or whatever. And so we didn't know. We really didn't, and we jumped in both feet. Didn't get funded, and I think that was one of the big things is we didn't build an audience and we hadn't interacted enough. Now that we have put time in and people know that we're not just some randos that are gonna that are trying to do this and you're gonna go away, people can trust you. Right. And also a couple things. Right. Sept and Michael Beacon said the art looks great. Michael Beacon is an awesome creator here in the community as well. Has a book coming out called 7 Legions. It looks really great. Like that's a guy to connect to. With some old metalhead, that is a guy to connect to. Like, and that's what you guys need to, that's what you need to do right now. Build that audience and connect with these creators, and they're going to help you out.
Right, for sure. And trust me, I'm open to all kinds of advice and any help I can get. I'm pulling for it. So I'll definitely get connected with those guys. But yeah, so like I said, networking is my key goal right now. Everything's kind of on hold until I can get myself a decent audience.
Yep, good. And I think it's a smart move. I guess like that was probably our biggest thing. The other thing that we did that was wrong was we ignored what everyone told us not to do, and we launched in November, which was in retrospect was a bad decision. But I still maintain that us failing was a good thing, because we learned a lot because that's when you learn the most is when you make a bad decision. And I'm more excited now to come back and get funded this way. So I hope our mistakes help other people. Like I hope other people can see. But yeah,
just avoid the holiday season at all costs.
Yeah, right. And CP says the quickest way to achieve your dreams is to help other people achieve theirs. Best advice I ever had. That's great. That's a great piece of advice. And it also, like, if for purely selfish reasons, it feels good to help other people get something like that. And so, yeah,
right, you're kind of just like, I did that.
Well, I mean, not even that. It just like for us, it felt really good to succeed. But like, there's so many. So we're in Mutt and I both are in other DMs with other creators. Like it seems to be like this. This guy, Dusty Tortillas, Brendan, he was like, it seems like every DM is the same 40 creators trying to help each other out. And it's really true. That's kind of like what it is. But when somebody succeeds, everybody gets excited. Kids Table is probably the one. That's one of the DM chats we're in. And that's what is a really good one because everybody is behind everybody else. And I think it makes them feel good and it makes you feel good for them to be behind you. And Michael says, I was pumped watching Monster MD reach its goal in, 2 hours? Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if it was 2 hours, Michael. I think it might have been I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes or something. I don't know why it's in my head. But, yeah, it's cool. And we're all succeeding now. Like this is the time to get into indie comics. And everybody's succeeding because all people are willing to help each other. And I think indie comics for the longest time was such a grind and so hard. And when you're doing indie comics, it was like this extremely low budget stuff. And we're just seeing so many good, really quality IPs come out and that are going to be as good or better than a lot of big money IPs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I'm convinced you're going to see the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out of this group.
Yeah.
You're going to see an amazing group. Well, there's a couple things that can stop that from happening. One is current political environment that can definitely stop it, just because people are not going to support somebody that they ideologically disagree with. But I don't see a whole lot of these people spouting their politics all over the place. Some of them do, but some of these guys don't, and I think that's smart because their IPs are so interesting. like taking Shinobi Sasquatch, for instance. That's a very interesting and very marketable thing. Shinobi Sasquatch is marketable just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
It's that same kind of mashup of ideas that is cool. It works out good. It's very interesting. It's got legs. And so I think that's one that you could definitely see go pretty far. I think Bigfoot Bill is another one in that same category that could go pretty far. I definitely think that Monster MD's got the same kind of thing. Now, I haven't read the story yet, so it's all going to depend on a lot of that kind of stuff. But, it looks like all the components are there. And I told Von this today. I said, it looks like all the components are there for this to be a monster success. No pun intended.
Oh, come on. You meant that for that fun.
A little bit. Intended.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, who knows? Obviously, Hollywood is starved for ideas. Who knows who could get picked up? Like, Doug TenNapel already has, like, he's already, like, worked with production companies for movies and stuff before. Like, that guy is, like, so it would not shock me in the least if Bigfoot Bill gets picked up for some sort of like animated or series or something like that. Like that's a property that could easily be put out. But yeah, Monster MD. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I rode like 30 miles today. I'm with a couple of clients. I'm sorry, I'm yawning.
You're like, we're gonna call our guys the Yawn Squad.
I'm
because
sorry. I'm sorry.
They're not the Cough Squad; they're the Yawn Squad because every show you yawn.
I do. I'm like, my job is literally I ride bikes. I had I had 2 rides today. I did like 30 some miles, and I'm like worn out. But to what I was saying, Monster MD is definitely. I think you're right. That's a great IP. Very marketable, and all of the like werewolves and Dracula and all this, or vampires or whatever. They're all like non-copyrighted anymore, right? So you can do whatever you want with any of those. They're open source,
right?
And I was trying to think of what other ones go. I mean, like even Lone Wolf is a great example. Like it's the same thing. All like zombies and banshees and whatever he has in his book. It's all non-copyrighted. He has some really good stories. Like you can make something out of that. So yeah, and some old metalhead says, "Great idea, art is awesome. I'll support this project." So there you go, man. Already growing. So, and if you guys want to follow, hey, Sept, if you're out there, can you drop his Twitter link in the chat for any of you guys that want to follow Keenan? You should. I think that this book's going to be really cool once he gets it out there. Right now, not a ton of art. His artist is currently working on it though, so that's exciting. I had a question about that. Are you self like what's the word? Are you paying for this yourself right now?
Yeah. As of right now, it's coming out of my pocket. It's just one of those things that as a labor of love, you just want to see it happen. And so I'm a civil servant, so I make do with what I got. But it's good. It's good to kind of do this, because I think it makes you respect the art more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool. So I'm lucky. I just have so Mutt is just drawing. I have a tab going, right? And he's just going to keep drawing. I have a line of credit. That's what I'm using.
Yeah.
I'm just, so we're co-creators. So we're sharing this process, but yeah.
He gets to hang out while I draw.
That's right. And you know what? Stop talking and start drawing.
Sorry.
No, for real though. Yeah, that's right. No, for real though. Like, Mutt throws down some inks as much as he can, and he has other stuff he has to do on we both got full-time jobs. We know the grind like you do too. And it's one of those things, man. Indie books. That's what you got to do. You got to work your day job, and you got to work on your projects at night or on the weekends or whenever. Yeah. Whenever you got time. And we both got kids too, man. Kids are time suck.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky enough. I don't have kids yet, but I will eventually. But I'm lucky enough that my job, working at a firehouse, it's the most laid back job I think I've ever had in my life. I have a lot of time to sit down and work on stuff at the firehouse. I sit down with my laptop and just type. I get a call, I go.
Yep.
So I'm thankful that I have that ability to be able to sit at my house, at my firehouse, and just work on it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. What's your specialty? What do you do on the? Do you like ride the truck, and do you like get to draw or something, or what do you do?
What you mean, like
do you have do you like hold the hose and shoot at the fire? Like what's your thing? I don't know. I'm just trying to ask.
Okay.
Do you like drive the truck? Do you drive the truck?
The
fire
no,
truck?
No. I'm a firefighter. I'm a grunt.
You got to excuse Macho, okay? Because the last time he thought about a firefighter was when he was reading like The Little Engine That Could or something like that.
No.
He doesn't know anything about what you do. He doesn't know that you put your life on the line for people every day.
But I mean, like, you gotta. I mean, there's guys that have specialties within the firehouse, right? Like, you have your drivers. There's everybody swap around and do everything.
Well, so yeah, you got your captains and your operators and everything. I'm just a grunt. I'm a firefighter. Okay. Like I said, I put my stuff on hot stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool. But, that's cool, man.
It's the best job I've ever had. I love it.
That's awesome. I thought about I went to college for a while, and I didn't know if I was gonna like stick with it or not for a while. And I thought maybe I'll do that because I had a friend that was gonna do gonna go out to be a firefighter. And right. I started doing like the physical fitness stuff, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I don't know why I didn't end up going through with it, but I have some friends that are firefighters now, and some of them, like, it is. I think the thing they like the best is their obviously they love their family at the fire station, but they like their free time they get because your schedule's kind of cool. Like, well. It works really well for a lot of people. Some people it doesn't work as well, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a perk of the job is being able to have that time off.
Because you get like a bunch of days in a row.
Well, so our schedule's a little different. We do 24 on, 48 off. So I'll go for a day and then I'm off for 2 days straight. But it works. It works great because I can come home and I get to spend time with my fiance. I get to spend time with my animals. I get to spend time with, working on what I want to work on. It gives me time to have my hobbies.
Very cool.
What kind of animals do you got?
I have 2 cats and a dog.
What kind of dog you got?
He didn't care about the cats. A lab. Good choice.
Good choice, man. Good choice. Yeah, my kids are after me to get a dog. I'm thinking about doing it.
Do it.
Dogs are great.
Yeah.
Macho's got a Great Pyrenees. It's like a polar bear.
Yeah, he's in the other room right now. He's huge. And he's slightly damp right now because it rained this afternoon. But yeah, he's a big baby.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, let's see. I was trying to think if I had some other questions I wanted to ask you about comics and stuff like that.
I've just been given a cat.
Just been given a cat?
I've just been given a cat.
That sure is a cat. Look at that cat.
That makes me want to sneeze looking at that cat.
It makes me want to sneeze.
So Michael Beacon says he wants a husky. Sep says do it, and CP says get a pit. You know what? For the longest time, I had this phobia of pit bulls because you always see the dog fighting stuff. But until I met this pit bull, and I can't remember the dog's name, and she was a little female, and she was the sweetest dog I've ever met in my entire life. It was the coolest dog ever.
CP, Charlie, his dog is the sweetest pit you will ever meet in your life. And you're going to love her name. Her name's Ripley from
Yes. Charlie, well done, sir. I love it. Yeah, I would totally have a pit now, and I have a friend that has like 2 or 3. And after meeting those dogs, I would 100% have one. I've always liked boxers too for some reason. I always wanted a boxer when I was younger. I don't know why. Here, hold on. I'm gonna get King. You guys, hang on. I'll get King.
Okay.
He'll come over and put his big head right up in my face. One sec.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife is after me to get a dog. Not just my wife, but my kids are after me right now to get a dog. And the choices that are on the table right now are a golden doodle or a schnauzer.
Hold on. Come here.
Golden doodle.
Yeah.
Where you coming, dog? What are you doing?
Goodness.
Come here. Look.
That is a polar bear.
You big boy.
Look at the size of that monster. He's the biggest,
big dog.
Sweetest dog you've ever met in your life.
Yep. He has kind of a crazy haircut right now because Pyrenees will get they have these coats and their coats blow, and so like their undercoat falls out and you have to rake it out. Well, this last year it was really a strange year, and it didn't let go until like late summer, and then I just couldn't rake it out. And anyway, he had a bunch of mats, and I just trimmed him the other day, and he looks like I trimmed him with a weed eater. I'm sorry, dog. But he's a good boy.
He's a good-looking dog.
Let me see if I can show y'all. Sirius doesn't want to get up on my lap, so.
Sirius, yeah.
Excuse my messy room. There he is. Wait, where is he? There he is. Cyril.
Oh, no.
That's my big boy.
Oh, big dog.
That's my big boy.
Nice.
That's a pretty
Mutt, we could be having dog share time if you had a dog to share.
I know, and I feel a little bit, not masculine right now.
You are a big mutt, though, right?
I am kind of my own dog.
You are. What you go? So, but let's see what's happening now.
You remember Mutt from G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
What was his dog's name?
Oh,
Junkyard?
Yeah, I think it was Junkyard.
I thought that'd be a cool name for a dog if I got
That's
a dog.
A great
name.
Yeah, that's a great name. Yeah,
either
Junkyard. Yep.
Or Mike.
Mike. Why Mike?
Mike.
I just think it's a great dog name, Mike.
This I remember I was camping one time. My wife and I were camping, and there's this black lab that he was loose and he was running around the campsite, and we heard these kids screaming, and they're like, "Creature! Creature!" The dog's name was Creature. I thought that was the best name, Creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I follow a lot of these G.I. Joe accounts on Twitter for some reason, where they like post like G.I. Joe like vintage toys, and it makes me so happy when they like post the box and it has like it's Mutt Kienan, let's see, what is it? Is it Mutt and Junkyard? Yeah. And that'd be so good, dude. Mutt and Junkyard, that'd be you. Except yours wouldn't be a Rottweiler.
Yeah, or I could get a dog and name it Jeff.
Jeff's a good name. Solid name. All right, so Keenan, real quick, we need to ask. Let's see. I was reading the comments here. We need to ask. This is something we started asking everybody for some reason. I don't know why. Have you ever been in a fight before, like a fist fight? And if so, what was your worst fist fight you've been in?
There's only been one fist fight I think I've ever been in. That was like a legitimate, schoolyard fight. And I was like in 5th grade, I think, maybe. And it was terrible. Oh, it was bad.
Did you get beat up?
Yeah. It didn't end well. For some reason, I thought that I could anime sweep kick the guy and win.
Yes.
Yeah, that didn't work. I got socked right in the head.
Good stuff.
Man, I'm so glad you tried it, though.
Yeah, I know.
You got to go for it. Hey, maybe it works.
You got to have some. Yeah, you got to have some like courage to go ahead and try to do a flying kick like that. That's pretty awesome.
You should have heard. You should have heard the man versus beast stories that Doug Garrett was telling us on our last episode where we had a mystery guest.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he can fight a wolf. He can fight 3 wolves at a time or 2 black bears.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Said he wouldn't fight a mama bear though, unless he had a knife.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That was one of the most entertaining stories I was ever listening to.
Dude, I saw speaking of beasts today, I was looking for a bear when I was out, but we did see I was with 5 Swedish guys that contracted me to take them out. 5 Swedish guys asked me, like I was doing a tour, a bike tour. We were riding bicycles in the woods, and I took them out, and this one of them, we were cruising, and we went past a rattlesnake, the second rattlesnake I've seen this year, and they thought it was the coolest thing. And the guy got out and was like running up to it. He wanted to like take a picture real close.
Oh,
and I was like, no. So I stopped him. Yeah, he before he got too close to take the picture and got bit. Oh my goodness, what do you got on yourself?
Oh, that would be a Severus.
Severus. Do you like? Do you guys like Harry Potter? Because you have.
Oh yeah.
Because you have Sirius and you have Severus.
Yeah, and the other one's Minerva.
All right, there you go. Nice.
Wait, get it again. Get it again so I can see it.
Okay. Hey, hand me a.
Get it again.
Get it again.
Get that thing again.
Pick it up.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, it's a cat. I thought you had like something else, man. You said it's a service.
Yeah, he's not excited about that.
Oh, yeah, my eyes are getting itchy.
All right, cool. Well,
hey, you know what, Dan? I've never told you any of my fighting stories.
All right, let's hear your fighting stories.
I'm not going to tell them all. I've got a few, but I don't have a lot. So I'm going to save them, the best one for last, okay?
Okay.
Some other episode, but I'll tell you one.
Okay.
All right. Friend of mine got mad at me because, and this guy.
Because he ate his Twinkie.
No. He got mad at me because I was talking about girls in front of him and embarrassing him, okay? This guy was not great with the ladies. Right. And because there were ladies around and he had kind of messed up some of my opportunities, I decided I was going to mess up some of his opportunities.
Is this a camp story?
No.
Okay.
So I told him we were at a party and I said, "Hey, everybody, here comes Romeo," like that real loud. Well, it made him so mad that he walked straight up to me and he punched me in the face.
Yeah.
Right. He
had it coming to you, jerk.
I was being a little bit of a jerk, and we were friends, but he got so mad that he came up and gave me a bloody mouth. So, and I just kind of looked at him and I smiled at him real big because I was kind of proud of him for doing it. You know, like he actually manned up and I was trying to push him over the limit. I did push him over the limit and he punched me right in the mouth for it. So I smiled at him with blood dripping off my teeth and laughed really loud. And that kind of stopped the whole thing. He didn't fight me anymore after that. But the next a couple of days later, we were playing football, and I still remember that sock in the mouth, right? So I was playing football and decided that I was going after him at some point in time in the game. So it was, no pads, just like straight up, bunch of 20-something-year-old guys just playing tackle football, right?
Yeah.
Like serious. And it was, with some cracked ribs and stuff like that, broken wrists, that kind of a game.
Mm-hmm.
So sure enough, I get the ball, I get the kickoff, right? And I'm just hauling it. I mean, just hauling it, like with everything I got. And I'm trying to find him on the field.
So you're running down the field and you're looking for him to run him over?
Yeah, he's on defense. He's trying, and I knew he was back. He was in the backfield. He was trying to play safety or something like that. So I saw him, and he, sure enough, was going to try to tackle me. And because I had a little bit more experience playing football than he did, I know I could get him. So so here's how I retaliated. He squares up like he's going to tackle me, right? And I mean, dude, it was bad form. I could tell it, before he even got down in position. So I just gave him a shot right in the chin with my knee, right?
Oh, gosh.
Popped him right in the chin. He goes straight back like a big sack of potatoes. And then I just stepped right on his face with my foot as hard as I could.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Crap. And then I ran into the end zone, turned around, and spiked the ball.
Good
and looked
Lord.
at it. And
did you knock him right out?
No, I didn't knock him out, but I did hurt him pretty good. And he took it like a man because we were good friends. So he took it like a man, and he said, "Good run," and we've been like very close friends ever since.
Do I know this person?
I don't think you do.
Okay, that's amazing. That's a great story.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't really have any fight stories. I've always been a lover, not a fighter. Yeah.
Hey, tell us, KP, tell us your worst job you've ever had.
Oh, that's a great one too. Worst job.
Oh, probably the summer I spent detailing cars.
Oh yeah.
I had to detail cars at my dad's dealership, and I live in the middle of South Louisiana. So in the summer,
there's some sweaty individuals in their cars.
Oh yeah. It was brutal because we had a station outside, no fans, no AC. You just
90% humidity.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. But that job also gave me my coolest thing I own is I'm a huge Saints fan.
Okay.
Until the day I died from when I was born. Well, we would go through cars that we'd get in that were wholesale, and half the time when they're wholesale cars, people just leave a bunch of crap in it. So we kind of go through it and throw it out. And if we see anything cool, just take it. Well, I was going through it and I found a Saints Super Bowl ticket.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I went to practice one year, and I had Drew Brees sign it for me. So I have a sign.
Holy crap. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Charlie. Yeah, you're right. Those 3 days I was a server at Cheddar's.
That
was horrible. I am not good for being a server. That didn't end well. I have a low threshold for stupidity. So it was just kind of like, this isn't for me. I think that one was what made me realize, like, okay, you know what? I need to find something I can do because I partied my way right out of college. Me and Charlie went to a community college together, and he hung out with some questionable people, and so I was associated with them just by proxy. Spent a lot of time not going to class.
Right.
So I was like, well, I think I need to get something that doesn't require me to have a degree. So I wound up getting my EMT, and then did that for 2 years, and then I got on with the New Orleans Fire Department. So,
nice.
Yeah, college is overrated.
So
100%.
I can tell you about the story that tell you the story about my friend's job, which was the worst job he ever had. And it was also the worst job for me that he ever had because of a very specific reason. But for a while, after I kind of like stopped going to college and I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. This is before I had like met my wife or anything. And my buddy though, this is after high school, he's going to college at a college fairly local, like an hour and a half away from where we live. And he had a dorm room. And so I would like go up there and visit him and hang out over the weekends, and then come back and work in town and just making like I was just doing whatever. I think I was working at like one of those places that sells like sheds and delivers sheds. I was doing that, which is a really exciting job, let me tell you. But so I'd go up there, and he worked at Subway. He was a manager at a Subway. And do you ever go into like have you ever been to a Subway and you go and you order and you eat your sandwich and you eat it and you're in there for like, or just get your sandwich and leave and walk right out the door. You're in there for like 3 to 5 minutes, but you smell like Subway for the next like 2 weeks. Yeah. You just smell like Subway.
Yes.
So
everything smells like sandwich bread.
Yeah, everything smells like Subway. So imagine that, except 100,000 times worse, because he worked there all day long, and he'd come back to his dorm room, and everything he owned reeked of like low quality sandwich meat. It was terrible. It's really bad. And I was like, Hunter, you've got to get rid of this job. It is hurting me that you're working at this place. And he loved it. I don't know why he loved it so much. He worked at the Subway and he loved it. No. The only good thing was, at this particular point in time in my life, I was sort of a hobo. So I would like, there was a month I lived, it was more than a month. It was about 2 or 3 months. I found out that his dorm mate, or like his roommate for his dorm room, had flunked out on the first semester. And so the second semester I was like, I have enough money in the bank, I'm going to quit my job. And so I quit my job. And I like lived in his dorm room because the kid like just left. He left his meal card. He left his like key to get in and everything. And so I just kind of took his identity for a little while. I used his meal card at the cafeteria, and I got it, and I knew the RA down the hall. So I just lived in the dorm room for like 2 months.
Nice.
It was awesome. It was like the best. It was, I just did all the fun college stuff, and I didn't even have to go to class. It's amazing. And put up with Hunter's terrible like Subway smell. That was the worst part.
I kind of had the same experience when we moved up. I lived on my own in Hattiesburg for a while. And I wound up leaving my roommates that I was with. I didn't really have anywhere to go. But I wound up going to this bar and making really good friends with the owner. And he was like, hey, so we had been knowing each other for like a year or two. And he's like, hey, man, look, we're moving. I need a roommate. You want to come live with me? I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I ain't got no much cash, though, because I just left a job as an oil tech. I was in between jobs. And he's like, just work for me at the bar, and you can live there for free. I was like, all right. So I got to work at a college bar for like a year, you know. So I was able to have all those college like parties and experiences.
That's right.
And you know, work for free basically.
All right, I'm gonna hit y'all with a bad job. You ready?
All right.
All right. I worked at this campground. Okay.
I know this. I know what's happening right now.
Don't ruin it. So these guys that I work with on the maintenance crew, right? They were a bunch of crazy hillbillies, and they would torment me basically because I was about 18 years old and they were in their 40s, and they would just constantly get after me on just everything. They just picked on me relentlessly and treated me like garbage. But I needed the job, and I was trying to work while I was in college, so I had to have the job, and actually lived on the campground. So they provided a place to live and income. So it was kind of a sweet deal, and I didn't want to mess it up. So I put up with these guys constantly. Well, one day they had to go and trim a bunch of paradise trees. I don't know if you guys know what paradise trees are.
They're the worst. I know what a paradise tree is.
They're like weeds, but they're trees. They're little trees that grow anywhere. They'll grow off of anything. And so coming up to the campground, there was this humongous sort of like cliff on the side of the hill. And so the hill kind of stops, and then right at the road, it's this big rocky cliff, right? And all these paradise trees are on there. So these guys took me over there and tied a rope around my waist. Just tied a rope.
Oh.
And they said, okay, now we're going to lower you down, so be careful. And I'm like, okay, am I going to pull them out with my hands? And they said, no. And they handed me a chainsaw. And then they handed me one of those pickaxe, use like a, not a pickaxe, but one of those, they're not a scythe, but it's kind of like a little short blade on a stick. It's kind of like what you use for paradise trees.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I had one of those in one hand and a chainsaw in the other, and I was dangling off a cliff with a rope.
Sounds like a terrible idea. That sounds like a good way to lose a limb.
They were swinging me back and forth to each tree. So like they're standing up at the top of the hill, just kind of like braced around, over a rock, and they're just holding the rope. And I'm like 20 feet below, about 20 feet off the ground, dangling off with a rope around my waist and trying to cut paradise trees with a chainsaw in one hand and a little pickaxe in the other.
Oh, sounds terrible.
No. Nope.
And that was seasonal.
Heights is my job, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah. I did a lot of things.
Well, they were like, well, I'm not gonna do it. I gotta have a livelihood to continue. The new guy to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I was the new guy, and they just threw me down there.
You've infected me.
Yeah. Well, it is getting a little late. I think we've gone for about an hour and a half. I think we'll probably wrap it up here soon. And we also, if you guys are watching and you want something else to watch, you should go to, I think, what time does it start? 11 for Drawn and Quartered?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think 11 p.m. Drawn and Quartered is going to come on. There's a gentleman named Ink Spots on Twitter. I don't know his real name, IRL. But Ink Spots on Twitter, he did a crazy good piece last week on the Drawn and Quartered fan edition for HIRO. They did a special edition for us. And so he won off that piece, and now he's in the pro edition. So he's going up against Mike Miller and any of those other pros. I'm not sure they'll have. They've had Jerkmonger, Doug Tenaple, Malin. Who knows who they're going to have tonight. So you should go over there. Sept, I'm sure I'll see you over there. But whoever else is free, you should go over and watch and cheer him on. We need to think of a really obnoxious name like the Malin Militia to be like something to just keep chanting out the whole time on the chat. But he's a great guy. Really talented artist. He's going to come on at some point on the show as well and hang out. He's a great guy. So go support that dude.
Ink Spots. Yeah, William Palacio is his name.
William Palacio. That's it.
Yeah, and you can find him on. I think you can find him on Twitter at Ink Spots, and I think you can also find him on.
He is. I think it's something else. It's My Evil Robot, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. My Evil Robot. His name is Ink Spots, but it's at My Evil Robot.
Yeah, at My Evil Robot. That's who you need to follow. He's fantastic.
Okay, let me run through HIRO real quick, buddy, before we take off, okay?
Do it.
All right, so we got the HIRO Fan Art Challenge. Anybody that wants to draw HIRO or make HIRO out of Play-Doh or out of macaroni,
whatever you want to do.
Wide open. It's an art challenge. We're going to put it out for voting. Whoever wins gets a free signed issue of HIRO Blood of Patriots when it's completed and delivered. Right now, we also have an added benefit going on right now for the Real Heroes perk. If you get the Real Heroes perk, that's right here. You will get one signed copy of HIRO. We will send 4 to active service members, and you will also get your name and the name of someone that you'd like to honor, a service member or volunteer of some kind, in the book. And we will actually make a little section that is a sort of a in honor of page section. So that's pretty cool, and that'll give you a good opportunity to say thank you to somebody who's served our country. You need to sign up for the mailing list so that you can get the first 16 pages of our comic book This is where it starts. You want to read this so that you can go right into Hero Blood of Patriots and know what's going on. So definitely, if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and download your first 16 pages of the story. It's easy. Just give us your email address. We will not spam you. We'll only send you interesting and worthwhile things that you will love. We have sold out of our Get Knocked Out. Of course, we've already sold out of our Be a Villain. And we've sold out of our Get Knocked Out. We still have the Brutal Death perk. We have 2 of those left over, and I'm hoping that someone will grab one. You can see here that we will have you featured, your likeness featured in our comic book, and there will be a brutal death at the hands of HIRO. You will have a couple of shots in, but ultimately you will be destroyed. So picture your head here. And that kind of gives you the idea of how you can be featured in our comic. A bit gruesome, but also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So if you know someone who likes something like that, share this with them. You also get free, or you get you will have the original artwork sent to you, as well as a bunch of swag, I believe, Macho.
Yep, absolutely.
We have 2 Macho mystery bags left over. If anybody, for any insane reason, would be interested in that.
I have been seriously considering it because there's just something alluring about what's in a Macho bag.
It's a mystery bag. You never know. It might just be like a live cat, a bag of Cheetos, and like a pair of sunglasses. You never know what you're gonna get, but it might be really good stuff too.
Yeah,
I would be disappointed if I don't open that bag up and it doesn't go, oh yeah.
I'm gonna somehow have it rigged to talk to you as soon as it opens up.
Yeah, so enter at your own risk, but if someone is interested in that,
it's gonna be awesome.
2 available.
It's gonna be sweet.
Someone did get the Volks blade named after them. This is going to be, and I think it would really help to sell this one if I can actually complete that 2-page spread. Yeah. So I think I'm going to complete that early so people can see where the knives are, what they look like, how prominent they are, and how cool the setup is. You might be more interested then to have your name put on there, but we do have several of these available, and that's a way that you can be a part of HIRO canon forever and always.
Sept has a question. He said, "Are they all going to be different?"
Each knife will be unique. It's kind of like if you think of a knife collector. There will be some big blades, some small blades. There'll be lots of different things, and so whomever would have their name on one of those blades.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're doing good, man. We got 4152. We need to move into these stretch goals. The first stretch goal is going to be at 5,500. Right. That is when we unlock the Colors by Vegas Day. He is an excellent colorist, but he is not cheap. We do have to pay a good amount for that, and I think it would make the book exceptional and that much better.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I'm really pushing for this $5,500 to get unlocked.
Yeah, if you guys want to see his color, the cover page, the cover of the comic that Mutt did, that is colored by Vegas, and it is really good.
The next one that we really want to hit is this Dastardly Dan curled mustachio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to get there. This is really important, guys. We don't want Macho to get by without having to grow his Dastardly Dan back out. Yeah. This is, and I'm telling you guys, this is. Well, I don't want to get too personal, but Macho's wife actually had a conversation with me about this, and she is not happy. Okay.
Yeah, she told me that she did.
She basically asked me what I thought I was doing, and I said, listen, I simply asked the question, was he willing to commit to it? And he's the one who said he was willing to commit to it, so it's on him. So
it's true.
She let me by. But I could see the fire in her eyes, and I think that Macho's really going to pay for it, but it's going to be so funny, guys.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to pay for it, like 100%.
As soon as this number gets crossed, the day that we cross $6,500,
it starts.
He stopped shaving. Okay.
Just this. Just the mustache. The rest I can shave. The mustache is what I'm growing.
Yeah, we don't care about your chin whiskers. We
That's
really
right.
just want to see the ends of the mustachio start to come out so that they can begin to be curled up.
Yep.
So yeah, let's guys help us out. Push this thing. This is very important. This is life and death stuff. Macho's got to grow the dastardly Dan.
Yep. We'll see. What
And
happens.
that's all the promo and I'm going to do. Thanks everybody for being here.
Hey,
and,
let's let Keenan tell us where we can find you on Twitter. Sept, if you can drop the link one more time for him.
Yeah, you can go ahead and find me on Twitter at KPClement1, I do believe. I'm also going to hopefully be starting up a new YouTube project soon.
Yeah.
I gotta get people together for it.
Yeah, you told me about that.
But I'll shout it out here.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking to do is I want to get a bunch of comic creators together and do a monthly D&D stream, Dungeons and Dragons, because I feel like all of us together can get up to some pretty crazy shenanigans and have a really good time. So if any creators out there want to do it, by all means, send me a DM on Twitter and we'll get this thing started.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully YouTube will be up soon.
Cool.
Go ahead and check out my boy Opdor. Let me see what his Instagram is. He is on Instagram and he is on Reddit. Great artist. Excuse me, guys.
Say it's Optor.
Opnor. OPNOR.
Opnor.
Yeah. He's got
Where's
a
he
lot
from?
of artwork up. I think he's from Arkansas, maybe.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like he's like from Germany or something.
No. Guy's a great artist. He's done a lot of great work for me. But yeah, so also shout out to CP Dunphy. Go check out his production company, Gehenna and Hinnom Productions. Gehenna and Hinnom Books. He's pumping out new material all the time. He has a magazine, a monthly magazine that comes out, Hinnom Magazine, where he takes stories from people. He's accepting stories and short stories, and he puts them in the magazine every month and curates his own little compilation of short stories. He's always doing anthologies. And he's got his own projects in the work, too, that are going to be coming out. Definitely go support him.
Sweet. All right.
Cool. All right.
Well, I appreciate you guys for having me. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, thank you for joining us, and welcome back anytime. And we will definitely be watching for your campaign to kick off whenever you're ready for that. And we'll be looking at art updates and giving you shout outs as we see that.
Yeah, keep us updated. We'll have you on again when you're getting ready to launch and stuff. And yeah, we'll get after it. Get you funded.
Sounds good. All righty, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming. Hey, thanks everybody in the chat. Septinov, our boy, for wrenching the whole time. Michael, you have a wrench, but you did nothing. I still appreciate you, though. Bruce, if you're in the chat, we love you. Some old metalhead's already out of here, but he's great. CP Dunphy, thanks for hanging out and supporting your boy. Who else do we got? Dave, if you're still in here, thanks, Dave. We love you. He's a big supporter of us. And Trusty.
Trusty was in, yeah.
Trusty was in for a while. I still gotta get Trusty some stuff. Allie Maxey said, "Great show, boys. Thank you."
Thank you, Allie.
Thanks for stopping by. I still gotta get Trusty some work. I keep trying, but I haven't done it. You know Allie?
That's my fiance.
Oh, welcome. Come on anytime, Allie. I'm glad you got to hang out and see Keenan on the show and hand him cats.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We're going to get out of here.
All right, everybody.
On Drawn and Quartered Pro Edition. And shout out Ink Spots for us. Tell them we sent you over there. I think that's it. I'll stop talking. I'm tired. Good night, everyone.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.